You know, millions of Americans are just one paycheck away from a financial disaster. And my first guest today is a media correspondent. Her name is Skye Smith. She lost her funds, got them back, and is now a cast member on the reality show N'Style Atlanta Uncut. Please welcome Skye to the show.
Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you, sis. It's good to have you here, and I think how you rebuilt and reinvented yourself is a story that so many people can learn from. Let's start from the young Skye who's got young kids and starting out, just trying to find her way.
Yes, had that baby on my hip.
Yes, indeed. That's what we do.
Literally, I started off in radio. And well, actually, if we're going to take it back some, I actually started off at Univision because I set my mind to, you know what, I'm going to go work at a Spanish network, and I did. So, but then I got there, I was like, you know what, this is really not my thing, I'm gonna flip it. But in the meantime, I got pregnant and then had my kiddo.
Had baby girl right here.
Yes.
This beautiful, beautiful mommy, beautiful baby.
Yes. So that picture there, that's when I was in radio and working here at V103. This was a For Sisters Only event. And you know, when you're a single mom, even though you might have family here in town, but sometimes your family is not going to always say, yeah, bring your kid on.
I can watch them while you're doing that, you know, gig at an event.
Exactly. So yeah, that wasn't my mom. My mom was not the grandma, so had to take the kiddo with me. Everywhere I went, she was right there on that hip.
See, this was consistent.
Yes. Right here in this picture, I had her hosting a red carpet. So you're gonna.
So she learned a lot from watching mom, but mom also had some struggles in that journey. Let's talk about what happens after the radio career.
Yes. So in the midst of that, I left what I was doing to get married, was helping him, and I always never tell a woman, do not invest your all into a man. Because what happens is, in my case, I did that, and we ended up splitting, and I saved up nothing.
So you weren't working while you were married?
I was doing I was his assistant. I was pouring my all into him, or I should have been pouring into myself, and gave it all of my energy. And at the end of the day, when we split, he said, here you go, here's your couple of $100 a month, and you can't live off of that.
No, surely, especially as a mother, you still have this beautiful daughter that you've got to be a model to.
Right.
So this leads to a period of homelessness?
Yes, I had nowhere to go. I remember getting the message. I said, oh my gosh, where am I going to go live? I didn't have any money in my account to pay any kind of rent, because you know, you got to have food and whatnot.
What did you do in that moment when you recognize I've got this beautiful little girl looking at me and no money in my account? What's the next step?
Because I'm such a crier, and I was sitting in the class, she was in 5th grade, and I said, what am I going to do? And I just had tears, and I had a really good friend who said, you know what? You can come and stay with us. So we went over there, we stayed, and that was hard because like I would wake up in the little girl's room, because I used another little girl's room for me and my daughter to sleep in.
That's where you stayed.
And I woke up and I was like, I can't do this. I'm in somebody else's room. So, and I'm sorry, I really don't mean to tear up.
No need to cry. No need to feel bad about crying. This is a real experience, and this is a safe space.
And I was like, you know, I appreciate you for letting us stay here, but I'm in your daughter's bed. Me and my kid, we have no place to go. And I just appreciated it. And at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? We're just going to try and make something happen. And her school gave me money to go ahead and move on out. So we got our foot in the door. And I was working. All
kinds of odd jobs at this point, right? You just took what you could take to make ends meet.
Even working at a daycare, and I love kids, but not like that, like little babies. And I was like, what am I doing? And it was so funny because they would look at me in the cameras and laugh because they knew that I really wasn't the kid person. But again, one of my friends, and you know, it's really important to have a good circle around you that could help you in times like this. So they had a business. They let me work in there as the teacher,
Right.
pretty much watching the kids.
But that networking, I'm sorry to cut you
Yes,
off, but
it's
I
okay.
have to point out that networking and having a strong circle, that's
Yes.
what helped you get back into radio and get back
Yes.
into the gifts that you had, right?
Yes.
Talk about
and
that.
it was definitely a process before I even got back to radio, because I was working as an assistant for an actress, and that was bananas. And working at the makeup counter, the perfume counter, and that was, I'm not a seller, and so that was hard. But
you had to
finally
keep
kept
leveling up.
kept knocking on the door so I can get back into radio, so I can go ahead and get my footing. It was part-time, but that's okay, because sometimes you either got to rob Peter to pay Paul on your bills.
That's a story a lot of our viewers know and understand. So I did to sort of skip through and
Yes,
fast forward
let's
through a bunch of
fast forward.
chapters, but you are now on a reality show.
Yes.
Where we're talking about sort of this whole process of being present, right? It's an interesting show. and
Yes.
We're
yes.
going to take a look at your role on this
Oh,
show,
gosh.
okay?
I am that peace-loving vegan, the girl next door, the one who loves everybody. That's me.
Okay, so Skye will show up not like this, but she'll show up to the red carpet like this to do interviews.
That's who I am. That is my essence. I'm goofy.
I just have my set look, you know. I'm very relaxed and bohemian and
That ain't me.
Okay, Lisa Bonet.
exactly. I'm very Lisa Bonet.
N'Style Atlanta Uncut. Lots of amazing women doing
Yes.
lots of amazing things. You're certainly one of them. What's it like, just quickly, the few seconds we have right now, being a part of something like this and sharing your story on such a public platform?
I love it because I know that there's somebody out there who's going through not necessarily the exact same thing that I'm going through, but something very similar. And so we're here to help that woman out there get to that next level and say, you know what, I'm not out here by myself.
Right.
I'm not out here alone doing this.
And like any show, there's always there's a character that we can all relate to, right?
Yes.
So the quirky kind of gals are going to relate to your character and what your experience has been like, right?
Yes.
All right, good deal.